So how do we do the file handling in Python? So either you read the file or write a file or close the file and open the file. So these are the things you do that. Open a file, the process, the workflow is very simple. Open a file, process the data and close the file. This is the things you have to do. When the processing the data, you can do that writing or appending, searching or anything you want to do that, but you have to open a file, process the data, close the files. Okay, so again, repeat: file handling, opening a file, reading a file, writing a file, appending a file, or closing the files. These are the things which we need to do that. So the question is, how do we open a file? Okay, so there is one function which has been given to the OS module. There is one module which you have is called OS module. Okay, so it's a part of the Python installations only. Don't have to install it separately. Open mode, open function, open method. So using that, you can open any file. So here you see open name of the file, it including the relative path or absolute path, and mode. Mode, it can be read, append, write, and create. That means if you want to open a file for reading purpose, you say R. If you're opening a file for the appending purpose, you say A. If you're writing the opening a file for the writing purpose, you say W, and creating opening a file for creating purpose, then you say X. It's something like that. I'll remind you. All of you, have you been using the VI editor? All of you guys?
Yes, Rajesh. Great.
So VI editor, when you open up, then you just open up and then you'll get the read mode. You can only read R. But if you want to append anything, you want to write something, then what you press in the VI editor?
Insert.
I, right? I,
Yeah.
correct now?
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So same thing, we have something similar in Python or any other programming language. If you want to open a file, you have to tell why you are opening a file. Accordingly, system will do the helping for you. Now, what kind of file you are opening? Text file, or which is a default, binary file, which you have to specify if you are opening a binary file. Most of the time, reading, appending, writing, you will not do with a binary file. Okay, so mind it, it's a most of the time you open up a file only reading image file, which is a binary file. Again, reading is the default things, so appending, writing, and creating is not for the binary file. So but yeah, which is the default value while opening? What's the default mode? If you don't specify which will be the default mode, read. And which is the type of the file, which is the default? Text file. Okay, so that is something which we need to understand this. So now these are the function. Don't get scared. These are the functions which is to be used with the file handling operation. Open, read, write, append, split, close, rename, and all stuff like that. Okay. So now these are the function write operations for this. Write lines, mode, read, write, append, read plus, write plus, append plus, and read lines, or something like that. Seek, close. These are the function which we have. Okay, so now I think I'll show you. This is the one. See here, f is an object created, open is a method, the file path, read mode. Very simple. So these are the, we discuss read, write, execute, append, binary, text mode, and plus for open a disk file for uploading, reading, and writing. Now this is the use of it. So you see here, you're opening a file, name.txt in the current location, writing in the write mode, and what you are writing inside that. So for x in the range 4, 4 times it will print, name is equal to input, it will prompt, enter the name, and whatever the name you are typing it, it will go and write file dot write, which is writing, and name plus and the new line character. That means in a file, whatever you're typing has been written, and closing the file. So that is how. So first line, you open a file with the writing mode, and then after that you are writing into the file and then closing the file. Very simple. Are you comfortable with this code, all of you?
So Rajesh, are we giving the path of the file or the file name itself?
What is that?
Path of the file location
You
or
can
just the.
this name.txt is a current, the code where you have a Python code, same place it will look for the names.txt. But if you have a different file, you give the file path just like this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, read mode, which is used when the file is open, only being read. So mode R, the write mode, which is used to edit and write a new information to file. W, appending mode, which is used to add new data to the end of the file. A, and special read and write mode, which is used to handle both action when working with the file. Both action means read and write. So R plus. Okay, so these are the things which by now you comfortable. Let me show you one demo for this. So here it is. So all this code is ready. I keep improvising the code, depends on the things. This page is very useful actually. So if you really want to know in the Python overall, what are the modules and classes, I mean functions you have for the file operation. So see here, if you really want to read, these are the function: read line, read lines, these are the functions. If you want to open, then open functions and close functions. If you want to search file, then glove function and end with, start with, and all stuff like that. If you want to move file pointer, seek and tell. If you want to check the file status, os.stats, os.path. If you want to copy, move, and delete files, shuttles, and os.systems and all, you can use it. And here, so many options are there. This is a very good image. You if you want to become expert in it, this file operation, all these options which will definitely help you. So here, let's say if you want to interact with the files, these are the one: get cwd, listdir, makeDirs, which is OS module, util modules, which is request, you are retrieve. You want to read and write, which I was talking about with open, close, write, and all stuff like that. Okay, so this is all this thing we discussed already, so I'll just skip it. Now look at this here. One by one you have to run it, otherwise you'll get confused. So here what we are doing, remember that file, my file, in this directory there's no file as such. So my file I'm running with X. Okay, X variable. So here open a file, myfile.txt, and this will create a file with in the same directory. So run this. See that here there's a file we got created. So if you want to create a file, you can use like this. Let's move on. If you want to open a file, okay, there's one file which is demo file, and if you want to open a file, print f.read. So it will read all the files and it will print also. So that file is not there by the way. So what you can do, let me first show you that error. See that error. Now what I'll do using this command, I'll create a file first, and now name of the file, I'll just match it. This will be this will be written empty because nothing is there in the file. Now what I'll do, I will delete this file is there, I will feed some content. Now this code will open the file in the read mode, and whatever the read mode, it will store in here, and using read function you can read the file. So see, this is the content of the file. So like that you can play. This is reading the file. Now this is also, if you want to open a different location, you can use the full path and all. And if you want to write a file, you have to use the W. So create a new file content if does not exist. So here, so this line will create this file if it does not exist. So let me delete the remaining file. So now here the file got created. So like this, here if you want to close the file, and if you want to write a file, append some content. So see, this is the file appending what's content, this content, and closing it. So and the file is demo file 2. See here some content. So this is the way you can write a file, append the file. This is the way you can read again file. This is also you can write a file. Okay. So what is the writing and difference between appending and writing? So W, if you say, it will overwrite the content if it is there. Append, it will end of the line, it will add it. So that's the difference between writing and again reading, writing, and so on. So are you understanding, all of you? How do we read and how do we write? All of you?
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah. Now, how do you see that if that reading and writing and before that you checking the files, it is exist or not? So see here condition, if os.find each file is available, print this file, else does not exist. Like that you can do the check also and things like that. Now one thing I want to run it, and that is, just give me 2 seconds. This is important for all of you. This is, so how do we run external program using Python? So for that, you know what you have to use? You have to use OS module. Okay, this is inbuilt. So for example, look at this here. What I want to run here, I want to run this os.system. I want to run some command such as ls-la. Now ls-la, I don't think so it will run because it's a Windows, but if it is a Linux, it will run. So in the Linux, in the Windows, what it can do? So let me pull it up here. mkdir Raju. So Raju directory, you see that here it's not there, right? So let me create it. So basically, using this command, you can run any system command actually. That's an advantage here. So here, if you see that, now let me check this. Raju has come or not? Here it is. So if you are trying to run some system commands, os.system you can use this module. Please remember that you need this code a lot of time. Okay, so that is something which you can do that. Any questions so far? Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, database operations, it's least you will do that because that's where the software engineers will do that. But yeah, if you really want to understand that, so here you have some examples of the code, and that is here. So I'll just explain it to you. So first thing, what you have to do, install the MySQL server. After that, this is a step number 1. How to install it? Here is a tutorial. After that, you have to install the connector between the Python and then MySQL. So how do we install the connections? So this is using pip3. You are installing it. Now the question is, what is a pip3? So guys, pip3 is a package manager. Earlier we used to use it pip. Now we are using pip3. So now we'll say, Rajesh, what is the package manager? So nowadays, if you understand this, no one is writing a code. What they are doing it, they are calling the modules. That means module means the code written by someone else. They're downloading it and they're extending it. Okay, nothing else they're doing it. If you want to go for the location where you find the lakhs of free code, free module in Python, so that is called Python module type module, and the location is see, I forgot the name immediately. Directory. pip3. I something like that was from my pip3 registry.
Thanks for watching. Want to study further? Join our training programs today.